Look at actor Shah Rukh Khan. He's well into his 60s, yet he retains an incredibly thick, healthy head of hair. Now, compare that to a modern 16 or 17-year-old. Today, teenagers are experiencing rapid hair thinning and receding hairlines at a massive scale. In India, 4 out of 10 teenagers are actively facing clinical hair fall right now. This takes a heavy psychological toll. When teenagers experience severe hair loss during these formative years, self-confidence drops by as much as 38%. It impacts their performance in school, how they socialize, and their vision of the future. The immediate reaction is usually sheer panic. People jump online, search for quick fixes, and order dozens of random oils, shampoos, and serums, hoping something will work. But guessing with commercial products is an expensive illusion. To actually stop hair fall, you have to understand the specific biological failure happening on your head. You can figure out exactly what's happening right now with a simple 3-step clinical self-diagnosis. Test number 1 is checking for passive shedding. Look closely at your everyday environment. Are you finding broken or fallen hairs on your pillowcase, your bed sheets, or scattered across your bathroom tiles? Test 2 is the pull test. Take a small cluster of about 40 or 50 hairs and pull softly. If you only get 3 or 4 strands, your roots are fine. But if you're pulling out 7, 8, or more hairs with a gentle tug, you have an active problem. Finally, test 3 is a visual inspection. Check your scalp in the mirror or look at recent photos. Are you noticing widening gaps or distinct spaces where the regional hair density is clearly thinning? If you answered yes to even one of these tests, your hair is currently in a state of clinical failure. Masking it cosmetically won't work. You need a scientific intervention. To fix the problem, you have to look at your scalp as a biological factory. You have roughly 100,000 individual production sites, known as follicles, constantly at work. Every single hair goes through a strict biological life cycle. It starts with the primary growth phase, where the strand pushes outward and lengthens steadily for 2 to 8 years. After that, it enters a short transition period, and finally the resting phase. At this point, the biology has run course, and the hair naturally detaches and falls out. Because of this cycle, losing 30 to 40 hairs a day is perfectly normal biology. The crisis starts when external factors hijack this timeline and accelerate the process. When you experience chronic stress or severe sleep deprivation, your body releases chemicals that short-circuit the follicles. They prematurely abort the multi-year growth phase and force your hair directly into the resting phase. Think of your hair like a tree. A tree can only grow as strong as the soil it's planted in. If the soil lacks nutrients, the tree withers. Your hair strands are built from a compound called keratin, which your body synthesizes from dietary proteins, vitamins, and minerals. If your diet is poor, keratin production stops entirely. Your body runs a strict biological triage. It prioritizes keeping your brain, heart, and vital organs functioning. Growing hair is at the absolute bottom of that priority list, meaning your follicles are the very first things to starve when nutrients run low. On top of that, we live in environments filled with dust and pollution. These airborne particles attach to your scalp, physically blocking the follicles and preventing new hairs from pushing through. Severe hair fall is a systemic physical reaction, the result of follicles being starved of nutrition from the inside and choked by environmental stress on the outside. This is why blindly buying shampoos fails. You have to treat the specific, identifiable pattern of your hair loss. If you are experiencing type 1 hair fall, which is generalized shedding all over your head and an overall loss of density, you are likely dealing with internal dietary deficiencies. The scientific solution here is reallocating your internal resources. You need to consume a high-protein diet to restart keratin production, and you need to manually stimulate blood flow to the scalp. This bar chart shows the results of a 2016 clinical study on scalp stimulation. It visualizes how individuals who performed routine weekly scalp massages saw their overall hair density measurably increase by 10 to 20% over just a few months. Now, if you have type 2 hair fall, the issue is breakage. This happens when the hair strands snap entirely because of physical and structural damage. The usual causes are intense heat appliances like blow dryers and straighteners, or aggressively rubbing wet hair with a towel. Then there is type 3, severe dandruff accompanied by mild to intense itching. This is an indicator of deeper genetic traits or hormonal imbalances, which require a medical professional or trichologist to diagnose. Identifying your exact symptom pattern is the only way to apply the correct biological fix. The industry selling one-size-fits-all hair products is selling you a myth. Saving your hair comes down to basic biology, a consistent, nutrient-rich diet, and getting enough sleep so your body can repair itself. But while managing your hair fall is highly achievable with science, it is crucial that you never tie your self-worth exclusively to your physical appearance. True, unshakable confidence is built through your character and the quality of your work, and that will always outshine any physical trait.